Hello to all watching this. My name is Matt Daniels and this is my 361MC final major project presentation proposal. Throughout this presentation I will cover the 9 points outlined for us in detail in the brief. So sit back and enjoy. Title. The title of my piece is Four-Way, an alternative love story. Pitch. Four-Way is about four long-time male friends who, after being shunned by their respective partners, swear off the opposite sex and try to take their original relationships with each other onto a different level. This is a different take on the traditional romantic comedy that will appeal to people above the age of 18, no matter what their gender or sexual orientation may be, and at a running time of 20 minutes, even younger people whose attention is difficult to hold will continue to be interested. Rationale. The subject I want Four-Way to examine is how long a platonic friendship will last under extreme stress from an awkward and embarrassing scenario. While I could probably make a standard comedy out of this, I do not want to make this one long joke, as that would become tiresome and offensive to many people. I want to follow relationships and how they change due to different factors such as abandonment and sexual orientation. Context. Year after year, the traditional romantic comedies roll out of the studios and people constantly go to see them, no matter how terrible the reviews are. See Valentine's Day and the ugly truth and proof of this. When the occasional alternative romantic comedy comes out, people don't really pay any attention to it, and it seems that only critics and die-hard movie fans will ever see it. For example, look at Away We Go, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and Hump Day. I believe that Four-Way will approach romantic comedy genre in a way that hasn't been seen before. While it will adhere to several cliches of the genre, the classic misunderstanding and overblown fight, I know that my take on it will give the somewhat stale genre the breath of fresh air it needs. Distribution. The most obvious audience that will see Four-Way would be the online masses on Facebook and YouTube. However, I'm not aiming just to show it to the people on the internet, as my film will just be bogged down with the rest of the content that's uploaded daily. My main objective for distribution is to sell my finished project off to UK-based short film organisations and film festivals. A few examples of organisations I'll be applying to are Film Wraps, Future Shorts, and Kino Cafes run by Kino Culture. Festivals I'm aiming to submit Four-Way to are Rush's Soho Shorts, Raindance Film Festival, London Short Film Festival, Leeds International Film Festival, the Edinburgh Film Festival, and Encounters International Festival, just to name a few. Budgeting and skills audit. When budgeting for Four-Way, I've taken into account several things that may not actually be used in production, but it's best to be prepared for everything. I plan to shoot Four-Way over a 7-day period, so the costs here are based around that time period. A backup fund of £150 has been put aside for emergencies just in case. Firstly, the actors and crew costs. As I've advertised, there will be little to no pay for anyone involved, as I don't have much funding. However, I'll be covering transportation and meal costs for everyone. A standard day pass will cost up to £5.60 per person for train and bus use in the West Midlands. Per day I'll be spending up to £33.60, and overall that will cost £235.20. For meals, I'll be spending £5 per person, as that will cover lunches and beverages. In total I'll be spending £40 on food per day, as not all actors will be together for certain scenes. The total food costs will be £280. I've put a total of £80 for materials used in the film, such as fake alcohol for bar scenes, cinema snacks, several meals and other little details. A 5-pack of mini DV tapes now costs around £15. I'll be buying 5 packs, which will cost me £75. Next will be the cost of petrol to and from Coventry when transporting equipment. If I shoot for 7 days, I will use about 2 tanks, which cost me roughly £60. Lastly will be the location hire costs. Most of the locations I will be using are owned by people I know, so that won't cost me anything, but may restrict the shooting time I have. The biggest cost will be hiring a screen electric cinema, bar areas in the Island Bar and the Victoria Pub, all in Birmingham. I've contacted the managers of each establishment and I'm currently waiting to hear back from them. I've put a fund of £200 aside for hiring, but I'm optimistically hoping it will cost me far less. In total, the cost of production will be running at roughly £1,080 and 20p. While the total seems excessively high, the actual cost won't be anywhere near this. It's just the worst case scenario that encapsulates many things that will not be used in the actual production. At the very beginning of the pre-production process, I did quite a bit of research into being awarded possible funding from Screen West Midlands, as I've had dealings with them before in previous projects. Unfortunately, the 2 types of funding I could apply for were unavailable to me. The DigiShorts application deadline had ended several months previously, and the Film and Media Production Fund takes up to 3 months to decide on what projects to fund, which is too long for me to wait. I've been a member of BEC2 for roughly 4 years now, and through that I'm able to gain public liability cover that will cover me up to £5 million for an extra £23 per month on top of my basic fee. I've inquired into gaining this and wait to hear back from somebody. I know I'm the best person to make this film, as I've invested so much into it. From having the initial idea to creating the different characters with their individual histories and personality traits. I've put so much of myself into this film, I can't see how anyone else would approach it with the same amount of passion I have. I've directed several comedic and romantic based shorts over the past 4 years, all of which I've been rather proud of, and I've gained quite an audience online. See Guys Now Out for proof of this. Plan and schedule of work. I'm currently in the pre-production part of 4-Way. At the moment I've already done 2 drafts of the script and just about to start a third, due to a couple of jarring scenes. I've finished scouting for locations and have contacted the appropriate people for possible use of their establishments. I have also started to advertise for actors around the Birmingham area by word of mouth, the internet and posters in busy social areas. I have most of my crew ready for shooting, but I'm currently looking for a continuity assistant, as I'm always too busy and forget to check things like that. The next thing for me to do is to hold auditions for actors, which I shall start to do at the beginning of February. After that is my shooting period. This will run from the end of February to the beginning of March. That will be followed by the post-production period, in which I shall edit the piece together and reshoot anything that needs to be. This period will not finish until the deadline of the final major project, which is the 27th of April. Supporting creative artefact. The following scene you'll be watching is a rough test of the third scene in 4-Way. The 4 friends, Edgar, Jack, Stephen and Tim, have all drunkenly agreed to try to be gay and have paired off, Edgar with Jack, Stephen with Tim.
I just had this awful dream. I mean, you had like a massive fight, and for some reason I ended up going to the pub with the guys and we got absolutely hammered, but then me and Jack just took it too far.
Good morning, lover.
Oh God. Oh, thank fuck for that.
Conclusion. 4-Way is a light-hearted look at the platonic friendship that dominates the film and TV industry that most people can relate to in some way or another. I'm able to associate myself with the 4 main characters, and I believe that it will translate to the audience and cause them to feel strong towards the characters as well. Each of them have their own personality traits similar to my own, but I've expanded them to make the 4 characters more than one-dimensional creations. Through doing this, I've made them enjoyable to watch, which helps to involve the audience and keep them captive throughout the film. The audience is able to identify with these characters through experiencing similar situations and the actions taken within the film. I'm truly excited about making 4-Way, as even after reading the script over countless times, I still find it interesting and funny. I can't wait to start production on it, as while it may not be as technically or visually stunning as a major Hollywood film, I still feel I have something to show the world that will interest them. While 4-Way may not make a strong political statement or evaluate our current culture and government, I know that people love it just as much as I do. Thanks for watching.